Mr. Secretary, good to see you again. This money was very competitive.
Yeah.
How in the world did Texas make the cut? There are, I think, a half dozen different projects across the state.
That's right. We saw some excellent applications from Texas, and that's why we were able to fund projects like the one we're celebrating today. What we saw was really a combination of features. Benefit to safety, a benefit to economic development, an equity benefit. What I mean by that is you have neighborhoods that were really harmed by some of the past decisions. They're going to benefit, everybody's going to benefit from these. That's even going to mean cleaner air because they're adding parkland. There's just very compelling projects, and they're the kind of thing we had in mind when we worked to get this kind of funding, this kind of programming into that infrastructure package.
40 states are getting this money. You were in Alabama yesterday, you're in Texas today. Why are you doing the southern states right now? Why are we making the cut on that?
Well, you know, some of the classic examples of where you have a highway that divided a neighborhood, but a project to reunite those neighborhoods, many of those examples are in the South, although I should note, they are all around the country. Buffalo, St. Paul, Minnesota. It's hard to find a place in the U.S. where this didn't happen. And that's one of the reasons why we're investing in projects all over.
One aspect of transportation there's been a lot of talk about in Texas is high-speed rail. Amtrak and a private entity are talking about, studying at least, the idea between Dallas and Houston. That's been talked about forever in the state. How likely do you think that really is, maybe in the next decade?
You know, I have to say, I think this geography is one of the best candidates in the entire country for a project like that. And the reason I say that is you have two major population centers that are a long drive or a very short flight away.
Is it likely though, do you think? Do you think this could get off the ground?
You know, for a long time, high-speed rail in America was just a dream, but right now we're funding specific projects, including one that aims to connect Las Vegas to Southern California by 2028 when the Olympics take place. If they can do it there, I think there's no reason it can't happen here. Obviously, this is in an earlier stage, but we're funding some of that planning work because I think this can and should become a reality.
In Texas, I've got to ask you about oil and gas here too. The folks out in the oil patch, the boys in the oil patch, think that you're anti-oil and gas. Climate activists think that you're all about oil and gas and anti-renewables. Which one is it?
Look, sometimes both sides are shooting at you, but we're trying to do the right thing for the future and also recognize the realities of the present. None of us can get to where we're going without depending on the fuel systems, the energy systems that we have. It's why we've got to make sure that they're safe and efficient. But of course, we're growing America's renewable energy, and right now under President Biden, the most energy independent that the United States has ever been.
Last question, Mr. Secretary. Preparing for this interview, I ran across something you said on Sunday. When asked whether you might run for the White House again, you said, quote, "I sincerely don't know whether I will run for elected office of any kind again." Are you done with politics?
I honestly don't know what's next. I do know that the job I have right now is, I think, the best job in the federal government. I love doing this work. It's also really demanding. It takes everything I've got. Some days we're out here celebrating a project like this at the Southern Gateway. Other days we're in Baltimore dealing with the heartbreak and what's going on there. It's an incredibly compelling opportunity, and I'm just honored that President Biden's trusted me with this job.
Would you want to roll in a second Biden administration?
Too soon to really talk about that, one thing at a time, but you know, I will say I really believe in what this president has done, and I'm honored to be at his side in this work.
Mr. Secretary, thank you.
Thank you.